Okay, look at this. This is weird. Oh, it's like 10 to 4. And but I just stuck my tongue out while the lights was on here. I was like, "Oh my God," because this morning I was looking at my tongue and I was like, "Oh, the brown's almost all the way gone." And yesterday I looked it up. And I didn't look it up. I asked Siri, what would cause your tongue to turn brown? Is there a mineral that you could take that would cause your tongue to turn brown? Because I'm thinking, man, am I taking too much of something? Like I know the doctor I was seeing talking about magnesium. And there's like you could just take it and take it and take it. You can't overdose on it. And copper, you know, when you're getting too much, it's like it's too strong. And but you can drink it all day long, and you can cook out a cast iron all day long, and get all those nutrients and stuff. But anyway, so I asked Siri what would cause your tongue to turn brown, and she said hydrogen peroxide will cause your tongue to change colors. And so then I was like, oh, another sign that I need to lay off the peroxide. So I didn't use it at all yesterday, and I don't think I'll use it today because I feel like my body is telling me just let it do its thing and quit interfering so much. So I'll show you my tooth and my tongue. But this light, like I said, my hair, everything looks different. So my tongue does not, like, this looks crazy. But my tongue does not look so whacked out on here. But so I don't know if you like. I would think that you can see my tooth well, but the tooth is closing in. Like it's healing all the time. Every morning, it is clear to me that that's like more healed. And what is also trippy on my tooth is like so when I lay down because I use envisioning for healing. So you keep picturing the thing healing. You keep however you do it. People do it in different ways. I keep picturing the tooth getting better and getting better and getting better, and just picturing it going through the process of getting better. And last night, when I was doing it, or a little while ago, it wasn't like way long early in the night. It was just like a little while ago after one of my wake up. Um, I started feeling it. It started feeling like it was like it was getting tighter or something, like putting on a belt, like taking a pair of pants that are too loose and putting on a belt. And I started feeling like, oh my gosh, that must be the healing as it is closing in. It's just getting tighter and feeling more. So anyways, and I haven't had any more of those nerve pain things happen, but I'm also careful. Well, as long as it's open and I know, like, that's a possibility. But I am getting it in other places, which then I was like, oh my God, what if my body just starts rejecting all of the all the fillings? What if that's what this med bed thing is it? But you do it all like quicker than this, if it breaks off and you have to grow it back. Today would be my appointment. So it's 2 weeks and 2 days because it happened on Sunday that it broke. So 2 weeks and 2 days, and this is how much it's healed. And I'm gonna show my tongue too. Like it looks weird. It looks like an alien tongue or something. Look at this. Like, isn't that the weirdest? And then this. So see right back here too. There's the gold crown back there. There's something funky with the tooth in between. I swear to God, it's a crown too. And because there was something funky, whatever the dentist did between the two teeth. And I had that like every other dentist since has ever said. And but anyways, look at like how much, like, are you kidding? Like that is noticeable. I don't see how you can't, I like how you could deny that that is healing itself. It's doing it all by itself. Like, that's crazy. So that's what our bodies can do, and that's what they want to keep us away from, I swear to God, is knowing, because if we knew this, if we knew when we had some issue it was going to fix itself, we just had to take care of ourselves, that they wouldn't be making any money off of us. So, of course, they're not going to want us to know that. And, I mean, there's The, man, it still is like, fuck. I don't remember when that started, where it started feeling like I couldn't catch my breath. It feels like, it's so weird, because it feels like energetic. It feels like I said, it's like being in something like real dense and then trying to talk or something. It's like, I don't know, it's weird. It doesn't feel like I can't breathe or something like that. It just feels like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird. Everything. It's the only thing I can really say about most of this stuff is it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. And also the because last night, so like as soon as it starts getting dark, and some of the days it's just dark all fucking day, man. Yesterday I had looked and it was supposed to just be raining and raining and raining. We're always under a winter warm or winter weather, severe weather warning or some kind of bullshit. And then all the time we're always under this hydraulic, I don't know, some weird water thing. And so they are always putting that on the weather thing now. And like the other day when all that wind started and I went to go look, it wasn't mentioning anything about this wind. And then it just said wind 11 miles an hour, you know, like no big deal, just wind just blowing a little bit. No way. This was huge gusts that were coming in. You could hear them coming like a fucking freight train. And they were blowing. I'm sure it blew some trees down. I don't know. I haven't been out. I'm going to go out this morning. I'm going to run over the food bank. I'm hoping that they're giving the Christmas turkeys out. The dogs would really appreciate that. Yesterday, I had gotten them some thighs up at the store the other day when I went. I swear to God, I don't know what the fuck they do. Oh. Yesterday, I was making a soup and I put the chicken in there. It turned into these like little gray, man, I don't know what the hell, you know, I'm feeding them, seriously. And she's not even drinking the water outside to get this, whatever is going on with her. So all the time I kept saying, it's the water outside, it's the water outside. But somehow that's the toxins, whatever. And if it's whatever inside of each of us gets triggered, because we're definitely battling something in her. And I have been for a fucking few years. And I'm still battling. And this thing is like, it seems like it's really hanging down. And I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what the fuck it is. I wish that we had some medical help of people that knew what the fuck was going on. And I don't know him, Max, because he starts cleaning his leg, and then he'll just keep on and keep on and keep on. And Archie will do that too, and Stella, and they'll all do this back leg thing, where, like I had said, it was like all these dogs were having some issue back by their tail. And so I don't know if it has like a certain thing that attacks. One thing that I have seen now is that the whole thing with the dog VAX program is just a euthanasia program. So, yeah, I mean, it's no wonder that they're just having a mass slaughter at all these shelters, like, because that's what they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit, man. And so it's up to us to save our own animals, because these people, I mean, I don't know, you know, there's some vets who wake up and start realizing that they're doing the opposite that they need to do and stuff. And that's where they break free, and then they lose their license, like that one blonde guy. I don't know. I don't think he lost his license. I don't know his whole story. But he's one who keeps trying to tell the truth on things. And I know there's other ones, but everybody gets censored, and you can't hear what everybody's saying because they block them off. I don't know how they do it. It's like if they just like put my videos at the back of the line, so they let all the other videos go first. So all, you know, wacky shit or whatever, and they put all that out first, and then they hold back other ones or something. I'm not sure how they do it, but they do something. I mean, I've seen them. I've watched them. Remove views, remove likes, remove comments. Like, well, they just do their own fucking thing, man. And then even on TikTok, how they promote like pervy ones and stuff. Which there's supposed to be this big ban on TikTok, which has got, the TikTokers all in an outrage. And Donald this morning said he's going to have a hard look at that because he really likes TikTok. But the thing is it really is not the direction to be going. Like, if you have your own product and you made your own thing and you're out there trying to spread the news about your thing and sell it that way, that's one thing. But the people who are just jumping on and doing all their videos as commercials to promote products for these Chinese companies to sell their stuff, and a lot of it is knockoffs and stuff. I even got a dress the other day, and this was from a ThredUp, and it said that it was Free People, but the tag was totally different. And everything says made in China, made in China, made in China. It's so wacky when you used to see tags that said made in the USA. Now everything's made in China, but they take these name brand things and then they go make knockoffs. So just like those Uggs, that's even a corporate thing. That was a corporation buying out a successful thing, and then make it a lower quality and just sell its name. So it uses the name, but it lowers the quality. But UGG, in the case of UGG, they just, I don't know if it was, however it went down, I'm not sure, because these corporations do so much, corporations, banker, all this group, they do everything in such a kind of criminal way. It's the same thing as when they're taking away land from different tribes and stuff. And oh yeah, okay, because I was like, man, there was something I was going to talk about and I had no idea what it was. And I was like, what the fuck was I going to talk about today? And now I remember. Okay, so or they showed me. So anyways, they whatever I was saying, I don't know, maybe I finished because now I'm thinking about this other thing. So yesterday, oh yeah, because it was kind of trippy, because it was like yesterday I talked about a couple of things and I said a couple of things, and that happens all the time. I'll get something that will come as confirmation. And I've said this a bunch of times, and one of them was, oh yeah, it was about at dark when all of this noise started. Because it did it again last night. It was like all of a sudden it became dark, and all of a sudden it sounded like we were down at the street races downtown or something. I was like, who in the world in this neighborhood is doing that? Like, this is weird. And so I was trying to listen and stuff, but everything is so weird. At some point, I just keep being like, okay, you just gotta let shit fall apart, and however it's gonna go. And I don't know what the hell, is the deal. But so it kept being really loud, but I've seen all these other people talking about that it goes at night. So as soon as it starts getting dark, they said like around 5 o'clock, all this fucking noise starts, and it goes until like midnight. And all these UAPs, these drones, all this shit starts going. You can hear them, which, yeah, if I open the door outside and I go out to get wood, I can definitely hear stuff. Definitely sounds like, like a or like you can just hear these sounds. And so anyways, and I never know, like, I know there's a lot of weird shit. So but somebody was looking it up. So in 1973 or something, all this happened before. And there was all these drones, all these sounds, and it was going at the same time. It would go from 5 to midnight, and everybody would be calling, saying, and complaining. Now they're everywhere. They're all over the place. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen. And what's also trippy is that I don't know if this is on Twitter or anything else, but it seems to be like isolated information to TikTok. Like on TikTok, everybody knows that there's all this shit in the sky. Everybody's talking about it, looking at videos about it and stuff like that. But then you talk to people who aren't on TikTok and they have no idea what's going on. So I don't know. Like, that it really shows you how realities form too. Because like if something's not in your reality and it's in somebody else, like it's going on, but people have no awareness of it. So anyways, all of this stuff is just so weird. But so she, so the, so whatever is going on with that, what they found in 1973 is they were going over radiation points or something and like turning them off or something. And so people are saying, oh, that's what they're doing. And they're looking at this map because now these people are all looking at these radiation maps, which there's a whole bunch of fucking radiation shit going or something all around. And, yeah, that's weird because it is also seems to be in all these places seem to be in the parts of the world or the parts of the landscape that are going underwater. So that's another thing that's kind of weird about it. But all I can say about all of these things is it's not just one thing. It's not just the government. It's not just the aliens. It's not just any of these things. It's a whole bunch of things. It's a combination. And it's definitely the government trying to distract us over things that are happening and trying to control the narrative. So it's whatever's going is going. I mean, people are seeing spaceships and whatever you want to think they are all over the place. And they look exactly like the things that I was seeing through my telescope and stuff up in the sky. I even heard another guy talking about he has this really strong telescope and he could look and see these things. And I don't know, it seems like he started saying something biblical or something like these are the angels. Because there's a lot of people saying these are the angels and stuff. Some of them are beings. And it's admit that this is what we are too. This is what you got to realize. When you're not in this little fancy suit, you look like them. So you're the same thing. And so anyways, but the light thing, oh yeah. And where was that? Oh, that was the one in Montana. A woman was watching and one landed. So she got a video of one landing and it looks just like a spaceship. And then there was another thing, and this might be from the 1970s stuff, but they said that something starts shooting at it or something. And it was like, let's see, if it was 5 beings. Okay, so I think it was like a ship or something. 5 beings came down. Somebody started unloading on them. So they all grouped together, became one, and then became a ship and then left or something like that. That is what I've been saying. That was like another confirmation thing. That is what I was saying. That some of these, like, you look at it and you think like it's a ship or something, but really it's a bunch of beings and they know how to go together and make it's, I don't know. It's kind of like where we're just going to be learning this, but it's like where you have more control over the matter and form, but also it's going to be a higher density because the lower density is so much harder because you're working against the frequency. It's like trying to jog through quicksand or something. And so it is, we're moving into this higher vibration. Like we're tuning into this other vibration that is going to be a lot easier to do this stuff. So see, like, I don't know what it is. It's like I run out of, like, there's not enough air going or something. Like, it's super dense. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels dense. So, anyways, that, the vibration will, make it where we can have more control over our form. Like, that is kind of like with the med beds. That's why they can kind of put us backwards. like 25 years or something because of the vibration and stuff. So that is why this density, this vibration is heavy. And think about this. This is something I was thinking about last night. Is, so just think of these two scenarios. Like, which one makes more sense? So you have one where you're born one time. You're born once. You are born in any state of being. So you could be born rich. You could be born poor. You could be born being abused. You could be born, as like a minority in a very violent place. Like, there's all these really intense situations you could be born for your one time shot, and you get born in, and then somehow you are supposed to realize that this God, one guy, he's running this place. He's watching everything you do all the time. He's watching what everybody's doing all the time. And he's not happy about it. And so he sends his only child. He has a child. It's his one child. He's going to send him down so he can be abused, so he can be like strung up, abused, and treated bad. But he also at the same time is showing everybody how you can be a better person. So he then is going to take away all of our sins. So all the things that we've done bad, he's taking them away because he's so much better than us. And we are also rotten. So he takes them away. But then if you don't acknowledge him and his great effort and his Father, then you are going to go to hell and burn for eternity. For the rest of eternity, you will be in hell burning because you did not acknowledge and say this guy's name. You didn't say, thank you, Jesus, I give you over my soul. And so then you are going to burn in hell forever. And so we have that scenario. Then you have another one where you are a soul and you are born over and over and over again, and you go through all the different roles. So you play all the parts. You play poor, rich, you play everything so that you can experience everything, so you can understand everything, so you can grow from everything. And then when you finish one experience or one perspective, you leave, you absorb the information, then you come back and experience, another perspective. And you do this over and over and over and over and over again because it expands you as a being, as a consciousness. And in your expansion, that expands the whole universe. And the universe is in observation of the lessons that you learn, because then it can learn from it. And there's lots of gods because there's all sorts of beings that are like higher, more advanced, older, been around a long time, beings that were coming down to other beings that were more primitive, and they lived as gods. And so they lived as confirmation. They lived as gods because the people were so inferior to these more advanced beings. And so they looked at them as like gods, so they lived as gods. And so you have lots and lots of gods or beings that have been worshipped. And I don't know that they all stay in that. Like, I don't think Jesus just was like satisfied, like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, I've played it out now, I'm Jesus, so I've done my dude. I've done my deed, I've done it all, I've completed the task, so I'm just gonna sit here as Jesus forever. I don't think it goes like that. Like, you would always be becoming more and more and more. Your one facet is not going to define you. This one part that you played isn't going to define you. So it's just a part of you. And yeah, and it kind of was like giving me this like vision of like all these Merkabahs, all these beings and all your facets that you become in all of the colors and all the swirling. See, that is what, to me, and that's what makes sense. But, that's why I say this other storyline is so primitive seeming. I mean, it seems like absurd. It seems ridiculous, especially when you have the two choices over information. It seems absurd, but that is why I say so much is based on fear, because they're so scared of, well, if I make the wrong choice on this one, I can go to hell and burn forever. We'll just see about this one. But yeah, that's why I said that's not the way to approach your creator, is out of fear. That's programming. Like, well, desperation. Well, I don't want to burn in hell, so I'm just going to call this guy and say, hey, thanks. So, anyways, oh yeah, okay, because there was these 3 movies that I saw yesterday, and they all, okay, so I'm going backwards from the third one because it kind of links with this one, because it was also something that I've been talking about. Like, the universe is just fucking on it with me, man. And so the this one was an old movie. Let me think who was in it. Michael York, I think, was one of the guys. Man, it had a whole bunch of people. Who was that woman? I can't remember everybody's name. But anyways, so, and it's called The Sacrifice. It was on YouTube, and I can share the link if anyone wants to see it. So it was, and I don't remember how, it may not be super, oh wait, that wasn't the one with Michael York. No, this one was one, I had a bunch of people, I don't know their names, but I know I've seen them all, I've seen a bunch of these people. That was another thing too, was some of these movies, I think this one is, maybe it was, I think, made in another country. So anyways, it might have been Scotland. So this woman, she wants to have a baby, and she keeps losing her babies. So then her husband tells her, well, let's go back to my home. We'll go back to Scotland and we'll adopt a baby. So let's go back there. She's a doctor, and he's, I don't know, a developer or something. So they go back to Scotland and start getting all involved, because they have to be there a year to get on the list to adopt a baby or something. And so they're getting their jobs and getting all set up and everything. And right away there starts being weird shit happening. And like, she finds she has a horse, and she comes out in the morning, and then the horse is dead. So she gets a little machine and goes over and starts digging a hole to put the horse in. And when she's digging the hole, instead she finds a dead body that has been buried there a while back. And so that starts this whole investigation, and she's more involved in the investigation, even though she's not supposed to be. And so she's looking into it. And but what it comes down to is there's this group of guys that came from another planet a long time ago, another place. They came down, lived as gods in Scotland. And this is also supposedly in the folklore. Sure, there's a lot of strange folklore stuff about this kind of stuff. So they lived as gods, but then they just started trying to blend in with the people because they were having sex with the girls. This is like a story that's over and over and over. These guys coming from other planets and then having sex with the earthlings. And then some of them aren't even earthlings, because some of them are all these other people who are also settlers from other places. There's a lot of different stuff going on here. It's Grand Central Station up in here. So so these guys were having sex with the earthlings, I believe. And but they wanted this more superior children like them. So they developed some kind of weird ritual, and it has to do with the heart. And I don't even know the whole thing, but anyways, so these beings from this other place that were far superior than us, and using us and wanting to have their far superior babies, and then doing these things in order to have these godlike sons or something. So, and I'm sure that kind of stuff is going on out there somewhere in the world. Like, there is definitely other beings that know they're advanced beings over us that are living, with us not knowing what's up. So, and it would be in small villages and stuff. It would be in it, and I don't know if the crown and the church, the church and the crown, because they are always after all the other beings, because they are the extension of the other beings. Like, this place is always like a battle for territory or something for certain beings. And other ones, they just are like settlers, just like in the other part where people were leaving Europe to come to look for a safe place. And then they found the mountain area up in like the Appalachian and stuff. And they all started settling there. And they all just wanted to live their peaceful life, you know, just farm their land, live their life, build their villages, and do, well, you know, nothing. And then it's the Church in the Crown that comes in and is like, no, we're not doing this. You're going to do this. And then they couldn't even get all those people to budge, so they've been under attack for a long time. And but to me, the opiate attack is like a big one. But I was even, I saw a video of a guy, it was a black guy talking about this movie called Life with Eddie Murphy. And he's, and it was about these two guys going to jail or something. I remember the movie from a long time ago, but I don't remember what it was all about. These two guys going to prison or something, if it was about life in prison, I'm not sure. But he said that the movie isn't about what they're showing. The movie's about showing you that the black people were living the life. They were living the life, man. They were all good. They were dressed nice. They were wearing suits. They did develop their own communities. And they were living large. They were happy. They had their own businesses. They, you know, it's like you took the black community and you said, here, go over there. And then they went over there and started thriving, which in the Native American or the indigenous community, when they restricted them to reservations, there became a lot of depression and restriction and manipulation and a lot of stuff. So, and the introduction of alcohol and other addiction things. So they used addiction to destroy these. So over here, you have these, the black people, they were just like, okay, you know, we're not part of your community, but we got a nice community right here. And they're, you know, dancing, singing, enjoying life, making their own music, their own food, their own culture, you know, and their culture is developing. And then so they disrupted it because they can't have that. And so I think that's the introduction of drugs and stuff like that to destroy these communities and create ghettos so that the people lose hope and just become more insecure and more controllable. So it's kind of like that, and that is like what happened too. I don't know the whole thing that guy was going to say, but I could see what he was talking about. And it was like, yeah, the people were all like they were thriving in their own communities, and they went in and destroyed them because they are constantly out to control us all. And then they always turn it, you know, and try and blame others. They're always blaming, you know, us against them. They're always trying to create that. And they have done that really well through programming because a lot of people believe it. A lot of people think that that's really the thing. You know, they can't get ahead because white people don't like them. It's like, no, mostly you could enter any white neighborhood and you're going to be like invited to every barbecue. Everybody wants to be your friend. So it's a very opposite of what they try and tell you. And, oh yeah, in the other movie too, oh, because that one, yeah, oh God, this pissed me the fuck off, man. So, I see, I want to do that one, a third. I want to do the other one because it's shorter. So the first movie I watched, the first one that popped up, because then I just let them go. So the first movie just popped up, I start it and watch it and play it out, and then another one will just start, like the universe just bumps right up in there, and then another one. And so that was the third one. This movie showing about these beings that were here and doing this ritual and all that stuff and being in these small villages. This is all stuff I've talked about too. And so anyways, I felt like confirmation, man. And then on the first one, so this first one that started, and it was, I think it was Swedish. Like the other one, if it was Scottish, this one I think was Swedish or something. And it was kind of weird. Like if you're watching it, it's like one of those, it's kind of got like artsy, kind of Jacob's Ladder-ish kind of too, like where it was hard to tell if he's awake, is he dreaming, what's happening. And so in this one, and this is the shit I have talked about fucking too, there was so much fucking confirmation. Like, so this one was another small village. I mean, it could be a little neighborhood like this one I live in another little place, and it was an island. So all of a sudden, everybody on this island fell asleep. We just all fell asleep. And what did I even say? A couple years back, like if you were riding along with me, then you remember that I said sometimes you go outside and you're doing something, you come in and you just have to go sleep. You can't, you just gotta go sleep. It's the weirdest thing. It's like you're out there breathing in knockout drops, and you come in and you conk out, and then you wake up hours later. And I talked about that, even to the point that I talked to other people, and it was happening in other people in other places. And I had said, they are fucking drugging us or something. There's something going on. And so in this movie, all these people all of a sudden are asleep. And and there's a voice going overhead. If you feel tired, please move to the whatever, this thing, government fucking bullshit. And then there starts being all these people in hazmat suits going around looking at them, toe tagging them, watching them, and stuff like that. And there's a couple of people. Well, there's one guy, and he hasn't fallen asleep, and he's going around all over the place. And this is the part that gets confusing, because it's like, where I was like, so I was kind of like, okay, so if you were mad scientists with all sorts of technology, and you had a place you could isolate and you could put them all to sleep, but then you could go into this other realm, so into the fifth dimension, say, and see what's going on with all these people, like what happens, what like if you're trying to understand what happens when people sleep or in their dreams or something. And because it seemed like he was going into these like weird kind of realms and other worlds and stuff. It was really weird. And so he's going around, and whenever there be somebody in a hazmat suit, he has to play dead. So he'll walk around with a toe tag thing. They are hanging off their hands, their wrists. And he just keeps it on. And then if there is a hazmat person, he just like falls down and pretends to be one of the sleeping people. And they're going around, which is totally sus to me. It isn't like the government's not just coming in to, oh, are they okay? Because why wouldn't they gather them up and take them into hospitals and stuff? No, they're doing this. And so, like some lab somewhere or something. God, I got so much. See, today it would have been horrible to be drilled, because the amount of pressure from my sinuses, the amount of snot. I gotta do my black seed oil again. So anyways, so he is, the part that also gets weird is because he keeps going and seeing this girl and sitting there with her, and there's parts where it seems like they're up doing stuff together. I don't think I paid enough attention to, or something, because I was also crocheting because I'm making this baby blanket. But so I'm not sure, but then he was like getting to know this girl while she was asleep. So there's a whole like love story thing to it. But the whole thing was, to me, that stood out was the isolation, the government sedation, and then the observation. And that is 100%. Like, especially I've seen videos of these places where people are just out walking and stuff, and they find these abandoned neighborhoods. And there's so much manipulation, and that tripped me out is when I had talked to that one guy up here at the food bank that one day, and he said that this used to be 30 years ago, this was a big old giant thriving community. It's like, where's the evidence, man? Where's the evidence? That is so wild. It says they just like wipe things out. They just wipe them away. And so there's just manipulation in our environment, so much manipulation in our environment. And some of these places where these people find these like ghost towns, and they're not like ghost towns from like the 60s, these are ghosts like from the 80s and 90s, and it looks just like the people are just going to sit down for dinner and they all disappeared. So I don't know. And it was not like one of these. Why does it look like it flies and goes right inside of me? Where did it go? Like, what the fuck? God. Is it the bots? Oh my god, did it go in my hair? What the fuck is this shit? And it's winter. It is cold as a motherfucker. I don't know how anything can be living. Like, it's so fucking cold. So I just hope, like, I know that they aren't just here to save us. Like, that's not that, you know, there's not a group like sitting here waiting for Jesus to save them, a group waiting for Trump to save them, a group waiting for the aliens to save them. But it's not like they're here to save us. They're here to wake us up, to liberate us, to get us to think for ourselves and to start understanding, to look deeper into things, understand things, and that this whole world exists outside of here, that we've been, well, we come from it. But then when you get in here and they tell you it doesn't exist, and then there's people that believe it. It trips me out, man. So, so anyways, on that movie, so that was the first one I saw. And then the second one started. And so the second one was of Reservation. And it was about supernatural crime on this reservation. And it was also had about big business and the division in the tribe by, you know, going with the white man or going against the white man. It's a big divisive thing that has occurred for a long time. There's been ones that want to go towards, but then there's elders, and they are, you can't trust them. And then younger people who start having more power. So there's a whole thing that goes on, but all the tribes are coming more into unity. There's enough stuff that has happened that they're pulling into unity, and then a lot of tribes are going with other tribes. So tribes are yeah, it's kind of like a coma, like people have been in a coma and they're waking up. And so there's a big change occurring. So the tribes are going to go into unity. It's going to, I would think that's probably a big part of the pull that will pull all of us into unity, is these groups that have been divided by these people that are very connected through culture and through ancestry and are more pure, not like mutts like most of us. A lot of these groups, like, the people do just marry inside their group, and their group stays pure. They stay in their own tribes. And so there's a whole thing of that too. I mean, when they started trying to, I don't know, them mixing them and stuff, because there's so many people in the groups that aren't mixed up with the white people, that they like it that way. They don't want it. And so it was kind of almost like an attack on them or something. It was like an infiltration or something. There's so much with the MK fucking thing too, because that little 15-year-old girl now, and they're saying that she's gone in and a Christian school or something. I don't even know all the story. I just saw bits of them saying, oh, there's a live shooting going on, and then it's like another one, and you know, and then now I'm seeing the girl, and they're saying like she's 15, and I don't even know what all she did or whatever. It's like, this MK fucking bullshit, man. And programming at school, find the kids that got problems, put them in counselors that are probably being hypnotized into creating crime. Like, it's fucking creepy, man. And so but what was tripping me out is that it just was talking about the reservation and the supernatural stuff on the reservation. And so on this one, it had, which was also part of what I was talking about with the zombie stuff. And so this one, a girl got killed. A guy, you know, a racist guy, obviously, because this goes on. Like, this really does go on. Even to the point where our government stopped counting. They won't count the indigenous women. And it's so sick, man. And then if you know anything about, like, you can look up, they put a red hand, like they get paint on their hand and they put this red hand across their face. Oh, it's gonna make me cry. It's a movement over the these girls all going missing and stuff. Something about, I don't know, stop. They're trying to shut up the other women, and they're just, these women go missing and stuff all the time. I think they do it so much too over at the border with the Mexican girls. Like, there's tons of these girls that get taken and killed, and they're just, you know, and their families are poor, nobody listens to them, and in the groups, there's outrage, like. And so anyways, it starts out with this girl being ran over by this guy. She's just out walking home in the forest, and he starts chasing her with a truck and hits her. And I got to think, why didn't she just run into the trees? But I don't know. She gets hit and she gets killed. And so her mom gets really distraught. It takes a long time for anybody to figure this out. Like, this is what the movie's about. But so right after she gets killed, so there's this group, this WEC, this corporation is going in and doing something. Was it with radiation? Was it with water? Something this group is there to do. And they have to, and they want this land, and that's where all these negotiations and stuff start going. And there's always the people who are against the corporation. And so this girl is out there with her boyfriend, and she's measuring, what is she? She's one of those people that looks like through the little thing. And so he's holding up the other thing. She's doing some measurements. Her guide called in sick, so she had her boyfriend come with her. And so they're out there doing that, and then this big hawk flies over them and starts screaming. And then she starts seeing things weird, and starts smelling something really weird. And then I guess she can see it, but nobody else can see it. But she gets attacked real quick, and she's just like clawed up and dead. And so the boyfriend's hysterical. Now the cops come, and it's reservation cop is trying to handle the stuff herself. She's the sheriff or whatever on the reservation. So she's trying to handle the stuff herself. She doesn't want the, you know, white government getting involved, which there's so much of that. And so, because, you know, our government is so fucking, it's so, tries to interject itself into everything in all these people's lives. And it's just like, God, it's so disgusting, man. It's like they'd be showing up at our fucking barbecues telling us what to have and shit. Like, these people are so weird. And so she, so the case is like very confusing. They're trying to figure it out, and they think like maybe the guy did it, and they're looking for the weapon and stuff. So then another guy who works at the same place, he's out with his girlfriend, and he's poaching. So he's out in the forest, and they're sitting in their truck just talking and having a good time, and, you know, and he's sitting there waiting to find something to shoot. And so then all of a sudden he could smell something. A hawk flies over, so they're watching through the thing, and then something is on their car, and it smells really bad. The guy's like, man, what is that smell? So he gets out with his weapon, and he's looking for whatever it is. And he goes around the side of the truck. And so she starts moseying over to peek out. And he goes around the side, and she can't see him or hear him or anything. So she starts calling him. And then when he falls back over, he's like been gutted, and all his intestines are falling out. So she starts screaming hysterical, closes the door and stuff. So now they got a second case. And so they're really trying to figure out, and she's all hysterical. They're not getting good information and stuff. But there's a couple of things that they say that are the same. And so she right away, because on the most of the people who are tribe people know of the supernatural world. And so she goes right away to a girl that knows more about that. And she's like, I need help with this. And so that girl, she starts doing this whole investigation thing. The part that pissed me off so much in this one part is the girl that got chose by this other girl. She's real pretty, but she struggles because she did go into our military, and she was used as a tracker, which is a true thing that they did do with the different tribe people. They used them as trackers because of how they can, I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. So it's like you can hear things, you can see things, you can, it's like you pick up on things. And so she she was a tracker person for him. And so, but she has a lot of issues, like all the stuff that these soldiers come back with, PTSD or whatever, all the reliving it, loud noise happens, and all of a sudden they think they're being shot at and stuff. So they have all these issues. And so she was having all these issues. And she's in a restaurant and she's having her breakfast, talking to this other lady. And she leaves. And this guy starts confronting her in the parking lot and telling her all this stuff. You know, she's too pretty. He chooses to, hook up with her. So she better be on it. But he calls her a squaw. I was like, that is so fucking rude. Like, god damn. Like, what the fuck, man? It's so crazy how they can just come up with some of these words and then come out of somebody's mouth, and the way that they use them is so fucking derogatory. Oh my gosh. But she, punches this guy out. Like, oh no, she fucking sideswipes him with her weapon. Like, boom. It's like, he runs like a little bitch into his car. And then he gets his in the end because he's the one who hunted down that girl and ran her over earlier. And he works for the WEC. So these white guys that come into these communities and think these people are below them. This is what they did all the way back. This is what I was talking about when they brought in these people. They weren't in corporations then. They were on horseback and wore fancy hats. And it's the same thing. So, anyways, that really pissed me off. But that was like so much confirmation. And then on that one, so it ends up that it's the dead girl, and she's in spirit form, and she's going after the people of the, well, she just starts going after a lot of people, but they go to her mom because when the hunter girl or the soldier girl is out looking, she brings another guy who's into the supernatural stuff with her, and they go out and they know that they're looking for something supernatural. And so and they're working together as a team, and he gets attacked and she sees it. She unloads on the attacker, but it disappears. But they both could see who it was, because it would go into form and go out of form, go into form, go out of form. And it was the girl who had been recently killed. So they knew that they needed to, something was up. And when, what ends up being is this mom has the heart and is keeping her under control. See, there's something about this, what I was talking about yesterday when I was talking about Hillary and stuff, and this zombie kind of having control over something. And so, and it's something through the heart, because both of those movies, the second one and the third one, it had something about it. As the first one, she kept the heart. In order to actually destroy the spirit, she had to let the heart burn. She had to let it go. And the first one, I'm not sure if they consume it or what, but the girl who gives birth to this baby, they take it out, they cut her open and remove it. And then I don't know if they drink it or if they feed it to the baby. Like, I'm not sure what they do with it, but it has something to do with it. But I just thought, how weird, after I was just talking about these things and all these movies pop up talking about this stuff that I was just talking about, and movies I never even heard of. The one was all, I would say it was made by tribe people. Like, it was all it was real, mostly all Native Americans in that, or tribe people in that movie. And then, like I said, the other one I think was Swedish, and this one was like off the tribe, and then this other one was Scottish. So all these, I never even heard of any of them, and they were all good, because they all were giving me confirmation. It was like, I don't know. There's so many times where it's just like I'll see something and it's just like, oh, I knew it. I knew it. And so anyways, yesterday I felt like I was getting confirmation, but the time was still, it is so weird. It's so weird, whatever is going on with time. And it's trippy too, because then this morning, even just going out, it's just like, I swear to God, I don't even like to go out in into this weird world, because it's like everything is so chaotic right now. It's just, even if you just are like, well, I'm just going to drive up the road, you're passing other people driving that are not paying attention. They are, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff going on. Like, you have to be paying attention all the time, like while you're driving and stuff. The craziest shit keeps going on. And so to me, it's every time like you go out and enter into this other realm, it's like you gotta be dodging bullets and watching out and stuff. Like, anything can happen. But that's also the trippy thing is like nothing can happen to you. It's not meant to happen to you. And that even if something happens to you, that you can it's like save yourself. That was even in the one movie when the soldier girl was out with the other guy and they were looking and he got attacked and she was helping him get back to the car to get to the hospital and stuff and saving him. And always people are always like, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. And I just find that interesting, is like, stay with me, because I feel like that we always have that choice to stay with somebody, but we buy into the death story. And but all that's changing. And I don't know through how many different lives, you know, that when we got over there that we were like, oh, we didn't have to die. I think there has been throughout a lot of this, it was plain, like we were supposed to die, and it was supposed to be short lives. It wasn't supposed to be, you know, live 800 years as somebody poor and destitute, being kicked on and spit on and stuff. Like, we can only handle that for like about 50 years or so. So it's like, it's a lot. So I think a lot of the lives that we had lived before, they weren't supposed to be super extended, and they were low vibration. But there is something about, like, when you are hurt, that you can save yourself. And I think that is where we're starting to learn, you know, just like on the tooth thing, starting to learn, like, something breaks on us, we can just let it heal. It's not like we have to do anything. And we're so trained to think that we have to run to them. We have to get help. Oh, you know, help me, help me. And, oh, which also, by the way, I did make some clove. So I just took some coconut oil, heated it up, and then I put clove powder, and then just stirred it and stirred it and stirred it. So I made some of that. I put some of that on my teeth last night, but I also put it on my teeth because cloves also removes parasites. And so I have been doing the horse base the last couple of days, and the thing is, what I learned about the horse base is it will kill stuff, but sometimes you need to take something extra to remove it from your body. And so sometimes people kill stuff and it just sitting inside of them dead, and so they get kind of sick. And so cloves is one of the things that removes stuff. So I was like, well, that's a, you know, two-hitter right there. So I'm going to keep using the clove. I was even thinking, I put cloves in my tea every day anyways, but this is really a condensed version. So I'm definitely going to keep putting on my teeth as they're healing, because then any of that cloves that you go into your system, then it's getting rid of all of the stuff you don't want in there. So it has good positive things from that. And it seems like there's something else that's just coming into my head about the minerals again. Was it somebody had asked a question or something? I don't remember what it was, where I was like, oh, I gotta say something about that. Maybe it was so I'll just go back over again with the minerals real quick, because so, and you have to to me, it's not just like if you're not detoxing and you're just constantly like drinking alcohol or eating artificial food or eating fast food and stuff like that, you're not going to have the same results. So to me, there is like a definite change in lifestyle that has to occur. So there has to be a choice where you want to take better care of yourself and your body's listening. And so you you like detox the stuff that's not good for you out of you. So, you know, you stop eating the artificial food or the I keep hearing man-made food, like the boxed food that comes like half prepared. It's got so much bad stuff in it. So any of the stuff that they have any portion of doing, they just add more bullshit in it and more shit to make you clog up your system. And so, you know, because it's going to give you cancer and stuff. And right now, there's a huge movement in that direction over, because there's so many little kids with such aggressive and stage 4 and all that stuff that it's getting noticed. But that is how the awakening works. Look how it has to get so bad for people to notice. So then people will start, you know, getting their attention. Like, something's going on here. Yeah, something's going on here. They're fucking using us and killing us. Like, so like we're in a pasture being fucking slaughtered, just like how they're slaughtering cows and stuff right in front of us. So we're just like the same thing. We're just animals to them. We're nothing. And but they use us, they trick us, and then get us to believe that we matter to them, and we don't. Like, they don't give a shit about us. And there's just always another one. Even I guess Elon Musk's mom has come out and said some weird ass shit. She said that all of us need to stop, you know, doing anything other than what is it? We need to focus on oh yeah, having kids. We need to focus on having kids, because if we don't focus on having kids, there won't be enough workers for her son's corporation, for his place, his manufacturing place or whatever. Like, we're all the peasants, and we need to hurry up and get out there like little rabbits doing it. So we have a whole bunch of rabbits. So the rabbits are all forced to go in and work their asses off for these, you know, minimum wage, so these people can get rich. So she's making this whole thing about, so I don't know. There's always so much absurdity on all this shit. But also, when I just saw Donald talking about the TikTok thing, it's like, this guy is getting younger. Like, I think he's already been in the med bed, or he's already on top of the stuff with the minerals. Like, there's going to be a wave of this, is how I see it. There's going to be a big, like, what aha moment for a lot of people in the world when they start realizing this. But it's also hard. It's hard to, you know, reverse your aging. It's hard. Like, it's work. And so it's going to be hard on a lot of people, because a lot of people have aged pretty hard. And so, but, you know, it also make it fun. You know, don't, just make it fun. It just don't feel like it has to happen immediately. Just go at your own pace and just make the changes, and you'll see the changes start happening for you. And so, like I said, changing your lifestyle. So a healthier lifestyle, sleeping right, eating right, you know, the stuff. And then also not what they consider to be a healthy lifestyle, living off of the food pyramid or something. You got to tune more into yourself and listen to your body. Get off the eating schedule, for one thing. Listen to your body. Eat when it tells you to eat. Eat what it tells you to eat. And just listen to yourself more. So that, because your body will tell you what it needs. Like, I fucking noticed that when I was a little kid. It will tell you what it needs. It will put it, to me, it always puts it like in a kind of like a craving or something. Like, there's different kinds of cravings, but when your body is needing something, to me, it comes across as a craving. And so, you know, get more tuned into your body. And so detoxing, changing your lifestyle. So, you know, not taking the stuff that is a burden to your body, not and consuming that anymore. And then all of the damage that's been done is to do those cleanses. There's all sorts of detox cleanses. There's liver cleanses. There's kidney cleanses, all these kind of cleanses. And it's a lot of them are just basic stuff too. Like a tea, some of them, like you can just drink some baking soda water and it cleanses. Like you got to look into some of the things. To me, I just have them come to me. Like I'm not coming up with this stuff and going and researching it. It comes to me just like these movies. The information will come in, and then I'll see, and I don't know, I go and do what my guides tell me, you know. Like if they make it clear, leave the peroxide alone, I'll leave it alone. If you know, and I'm questioning the brown, but I'm telling you, the brown tongue does not look as brown. This light, I don't know what the hell. That is so weird looking, because in the thing, it's just like a little bit of brown here and a little bit of brown over there, and there's less because there was more brown down there. And if it's like peroxide, then it still is just, it's weird. But I keep seeing things weird. Like everything looks really weird to me. Like maybe my tongue doesn't even look weird. Maybe it's just coming through my eyes or something. You guys can tell me, but I think it looks weird. But anyways, I am definitely having something weird with my eyes, and it kind of reminds me of like when I have the red light on and then I turn it off and everything looks really weird. It just keeps being like that. And so let me think, because I was talking about Donald and the med beds and the younger, and oh yeah, okay, so the mineral. Okay, so you do the detoxing. So then you find these cleanses, whatever they are all different ones. And so you do all this cleansing of your body. The parasite cleanse too. There's all sorts of those. And you can just look. To me, the horse paste one is pretty cheap, like, and it's really effective. I mean, if you look up all of this testimonials and stuff, there's people who have used that and cured their CA. So, I think it is an effective one. But you know, I mean, I don't know that every single person can take it and have the same effects. Like you got to listen to your own self. I can recommend it. It's worked good for us over here. I've given it to Max. He hasn't had any issues. I've given it to Stella so much. She hasn't had any issues. I've taken it. The only issue I've ever had taking it is it makes you go to the bathroom a lot. And, but then you're like, well, I'm getting all this crap out of me, literally. And so anyways, doing the cleanses. Oh, and while my son-in-law was here, I did one on him. And he hadn't had one before. And he didn't have any live worms coming out of him. Because there's a lot of people who get freaked out about doing it. And they're like, man, I don't want a bunch of worms and shit coming out of me. And so people get freaked out. But he didn't have any. I didn't either. The only time I ever saw anything that I was sure was worms was after I went to that medbed place, that energy medbed place, the quantum center. And in the morning when I went to the bathroom, these two things came out that I was like, these seem like dead worms. And then now that I've seen pictures of people showing different parasites and stuff, I was like, oh, those were definitely. And I don't know what kind. It kind of trips me out because my grandma had said ever since I was a little kid, she would tell my mom, I think that Kelly has a tapeworm. And seeing all of these fucking weird fucking videos with the tapeworm shit freaks me the fuck out. I hope that I've done a minute. There is like there's one that somebody had. It was like, I don't even remember how long. Surely it wasn't 25 feet long when they got it out, but some big fucking worms. So like, I don't know. It seems like if you took stuff, it would kill it, but I don't know how long it would take for it. That's what I'm saying is, like, some of the things, I guess they die, but then they don't leave. So I'm not sure. I'm like, I don't know, because I mean, to me, it's like flesh and blood isn't even real, for one thing. So this whole thing is weird. But so so doing the cleansing thing is important to just really get yourself like purified or something, get all of the stuff out of you. And then you got to replace everything with all of these different things that are really high in nutrition and minerals. And so the drinking out of the copper cup. So I don't think you can see mine, but I have a vessel, a copper vessel. And so I just fill it up with the water, and then I just set it over here on this thing, and it just sits there. And then I have my drinking glass and I pour it in there when I drink all that. And mine usually sits for like 24 hours. And but not everybody can have it sit for 24 hours. Some people, you can only have it a couple. And the first time I did it, I got super sick because I filled it up, set it over there, did it the next day, drank it, and was sick as a motherfucker. I was so nauseous. I didn't ever puke or anything, but I was just super nauseous. Oh God, I felt so sick. And so I started looking it up, and it's the copper toxicity, because when I got the cup, I was supposed to let it sit overnight and dump the first one. It got way too much stuff in it. And so when you drink too much copper, it makes you sick. And a lot of people, when they start, they do get that copper toxicity thing, and then it puts them off to where they don't want to do it. So that's why I say go at it slow. Don't jump right in and be like, well, I'm going to leave it sitting all night. Go slow. You know, maybe just start out just drinking out of it, and then see. And if your water's been sitting there for a couple hours and you take a drink and it's like, oh, that made me not feel good, then don't leave it past that time. Just get new water. So it's like you got to monitor yourself. But anyways, the copper, and that is the best way to get it into you, is through the water, because the water goes, it absorbs it into the water, and then we drink the water, and then the water goes all throughout your whole body, feeding everything. And so everything gets minerals. And the whole thing with the minerals is, when you start understanding about them, is that they need each other. So they are a part of the domino thing. And when you pull out one, it causes the other ones to not fall right. And so you need them all. They need each other to absorb. And so to absorb copper, you won't absorb copper if you're low in iron. So you've got to increase your iron. And there's tons and tons of people who are anemic, tons, especially older people, are all anemic because we are drawn out of all of our fucking minerals. And so they put everybody on iron. Well, they're not getting the iron from the iron. And so there's doctors who are saying, like, you got to get a better absorbency. And so the absorbency, the best way you're going to get your absorbency with the iron is cooking in cast iron, like they used to do a long time ago. Everybody cooked on cast iron. We didn't have all this Teflon bullshit and all these non-stick pans and stuff. They just had basic fucking pans that were cast iron, and they were giving the minerals into our bodies that we needed. And so cooking on the cast iron, it absorbs the minerals into your food. Then you eat the food and it goes all over in your body. When you just take the pill, it doesn't have anything to hold on to. And so you kind of like just, the most of the stuff goes out of you, apparently, and it doesn't go in through your body. That's why if you eat the food that has the minerals in it, then the minerals, as the food is absorbed in you, the minerals are absorbed in you. So it's a different action, and it works better. So that's why, and you need the iron in order to absorb the copper. And then, so once you have your iron and your copper, well, the copper isn't going to be as efficient if you don't have the magnesium. So you need to increase the magnesium. The magnesium is one you can just get, like, you can pop the magnesium pills, but magnesium comes in a lot of different forms. And the ones I take are glycinate, lysine, but there's different ones. And if you have certain kinds of symptoms, there's one that you would want to be more directed towards. There's ones that are like really focused on, like, I think on blood pressure or something. I'm not sure. But so you want to look up the magnesiums and find the one that you think is best for you. And if you're not sure, try some different ones, and or get both. That one doctor has said you can take tons of magnesium and you can't overdose on it. You can just pop it all the time and you're not going to overdose on it. And so the magnesium then makes the copper more efficient. Once the copper is being efficient, and it also needs vitamin D. Once the copper's being efficient, then it starts putting the collagen back in your skin. It starts putting all the color back in your hair and stuff. And so that is, but it needs these other ones. It's not going to just necessarily do it by itself. Some people it may, but it is maybe because that's the only thing they're really short in. Maybe they eat lots of steak and they get a lot of iron. Maybe, you know, you can't judge off of other people's stuff. That's why you have to really focus on your own. So but the vitamin D and the magnesium makes the copper more efficient. And the copper is what turns the aging thing around. But like I said, it needs these other things. Then there's also been the selenium. Selenium, if you're short in selenium, your hair will lose color. And and that's what happens with horses and stuff. So there was people who started just taking selenium and their hair started changing back from gray to their natural color. Then zinc, the one with the zinc is if your hair is falling out and stuff, then you need zinc. And I don't even remember all the stuff with the zinc. There's more things that if you have these problems that you're short on zinc. But the thing is also with the zinc is it's got to be taken alone, and it's got to be taken hours apart from other things, and it needs time to absorb. You got to take it with food or something. Like, you got to look up about the stuff with the zinc. And let me think. Then boron, like I take the boron too, and that one has to do with like our bones and stuff. And I had started on it with Stella because of the arthritis. It's supposed to, the doctor who had figured it out, he had figured it out on arthritis people. So that one is used for arthritis on, so I got it for Stella. And then I started taking it too. I don't know if it makes a lot of difference for me, but I just want to take all these minerals. The mineral salts, so if you take a couple of the crunchy things, God dang, hold on. It's like a deep itch way back. Fuck, man. Oh, that drives me crazy. Hold on. So the zinc, you have to look up about that, but you could have, like, if you're losing your hair, that could be a really good place to start. If you're having a lot of problems with your skin sagging and stuff, then it has to do with your collagen and stuff, and that would have to do with the copper and your hair changing colors. It'll go back to the copper too. Even though there's a lot of people who, even off moringa, that they've used moringa and selenium and their hair changed. So it's really important for it. To me, throughout this thing, I've like tried this, and if I didn't see anything, I tried something else, because I did do selenium for a while. I didn't really see much change. And then now I've been doing the zinc, and I think I will keep doing the zinc. And I mean, I may even get more selenium again, but I will stay doing the zinc. But mostly, so in the morning, I have moringa powder in my tea. So, and also spirulina. And that has got a lot of algae. There's a lot of stuff like that. It's just weird how they tell us, like, you shouldn't be drinking this water, but then we need everything out of it. So we shouldn't drink ocean water, but we need all this stuff out of it. So this, I don't know. I just feel like everything's such a fucking lie. So anyways, the spirulina has the different nutrients from algae and something else I don't remember, but that is in my tea powder stuff too. So, but the moringa I drink every day. And I was drinking that way before I knew anything about this. I would hear different people talking about different things that you needed in these different teas that had them, and I just started getting all these different teas. Like, I'm not even shitting you. My fucking tea is so hot. It trips me out. I used to be like, go get Lipton tea bags. If they weren't on sale for $3.99 for 100 of them, I'd be like, God, I'm not going to buy them for $5.49. And here I am now. Like, every single one of these powders and stuff is $15 to $20. And I've got Um, I don't know, 8 or 10 of them in every single cup of tea. That's why it was like, man, my cup of tea went to like $100 cup. Like, it's mental. But it really has got nutrition now. Like, it really has stuff that um, it is feeding my body what my body needs. And also cleansing it, getting the toxins and stuff out, because that's another thing with the teas too, is I have nettles, and that's good for pain and stuff. And the burdock root, that is good for getting the stuff in you or out of you that you don't want in you. And let me think what the other one is. Oh, the mullein. I drink the mullein. That keeps your lungs cleaned out, especially since I smoke weed. Which also, I was thinking about this because, you know, weed's a plant, and I think it's stupid to be labeled as a drug. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who think that about like the ayahuasca, peyote, and all that stuff, is that they're plant medicine. And so telling people to take plants or herbs or whatever, the thing for their spiritual awakening or whatever. But that I just don't think you should be telling people that, and I don't think people should be using ayahuasca as their way to connect with themselves. Like, I just think that there's a weird thing with it, how all these people, you know, it's like, I don't know, if they're stagnant and they're away from their soul and they need to use that to get in touch with themselves, but then to tell other people, because maybe the other people don't need to do that, and then you're putting them on a wrong direction when all they need to do is just meditate in silence and start talking to themselves, and then they'll get, you know, I don't know, don't just buy into what other people say, because there's plenty of people who go and do that stuff and have really bad trips, man. So, and if it works good for somebody, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work good for you. It just worked good for them. And if they want to go out and tell everybody, hey, everybody needs to do ayahuasca, and then you're going to see what this world's really about. But some people, like, you can get it in a dream. You can get it while you're just sitting there in a vision. Like, yeah, to me, I can have visions that are like completely like you're not here anymore. It's like you're someplace else. So you know, and you just, I don't know, you don't have to use those big ceremonial kind of things in order to connect with yourself. Like, yourself's just sitting there waiting for you to connect with yourself. So just don't get caught up in that. There probably is people out there trying to plan their ayahuasca trip, like trying to come up with thousands of dollars. I bet you there's some of these fucking spiritual guru people who are out there just trying to formulate those, like, here, send me $1,000, we're gonna set up this whole weekend, everybody's gonna come out, we're gonna have all these people who will help you through, and you'll go through your spiritual awakening all together with all this big group, and just pay this money. I bet you that those are going on. There's people out there doing that. And I don't know. The universe is definitely going to make it clear what direction we're going and in which way. Like, if all of a sudden, you know, it starts putting that where we'll be able to tell. You'll be able to tell as the shifts occur. You'll be able to tell what the universe is saying no to and what the universe is saying yes to. So that's where you just got to keep being open and stuff. Don't get too caught up in all this stuff. Like, I know that they've got people caught up in, like, that's your answers. Just go do ayahuasca and then you're going to be spiritually connected. But no, like, there's more to it. Just like there's more to the cleansing yourself, you know. You got to really put your effort into your lifestyle and taking care of yourself and all these minerals. And I'm sure that there's way more that people could need. Like, depending on your health and stuff. And it depends also on, like, your DNA, like what it is you need. And that is kind of based on all these other lives and stuff you've lived. That's why I say that some people are like more programmed to eat meat, and other people are more programmed to eat fat, and other people are more programmed to eat fruit. It depends on what you have lived other lives living. Maybe it's like the most recent or something. I'm not sure, but it's a part of your programming. And you don't just go in and go against your own programming to please somebody else. Like, well, they say we shouldn't eat meat. They just eat berries, so I better just eat berries. You go start just eating berries, you're going to find yourself sick as fuck because it's not going to go with your DNA structure. So you got to follow what your DNA structure is telling you, how you need to eat, how you need to take care of yourself. And you got to tune into yourself. And just being all fucked up on, some kind of peyote or ayahuasca or mushrooms or whatever isn't going to, I mean, these are real lifestyle changes that you got to make and real practices. Real, like when things happen, is to not jump on being the victim and feeling sorry for yourself, and really trying to gain all of the knowledge or the gifts or whatever from the situations. So anyways, I don't know. I besides the fact, just this world, like this world is enough to make you just feel like you're high all the time. Like this world is like trippy. Like I don't know. Like it's weird. But let me think. So there's just way more spreading of these things in the sky, which hopefully we're close to something going down. And I think one of the things too that seemed to be a problem with some of these people, like all these people who are psychic and all, they're coming out of the word works, and everybody's saying what they believe is going to happen. And I think that is, we're not supposed to. We're not supposed to, like, my guys definitely, if I'm trying to see, like, all the details of shit, they're always like, that's not what you're here to see. And so there's a whole thing about learning how to just go with the flow and trust and stuff like that. And so we're not supposed to know every little thing. We're not supposed to see every little thing. We're supposed to, learn how to be okay. And so I think some of these people who keep saying, well, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and it keeps blowing up on them, that's why. Because we're not supposed to be going and figuring out every little thing. And they could be getting, channeling like tricksters and stuff that are, think that's hilarious. Like they're going to tell you this is going to go on and you're telling everybody, and then and then it blows up in your face, and then they live for that shit. Like that's what feeds them. That's what gives them life. They really do live off that shit. So, I would just say, like, when you're hearing all these people and they're like, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen, is, it's a trick. Because I definitely don't see guides telling us every little detail. And things can come in dreams, but still, it's an interpretation. And things can come in visions, but it's still an interpretation. Even when people feel so certain they're interpreting it a certain way, but they're interpreting it through their lens. So it's how they see it supposed to be. So you may not be seeing it at all the right way. So anyways, as all these people keep saying, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen, just keep that in mind. Because I don't think the universe is going to come down and tell us. They're going to show us. We're going to experience it. They're not going to tell us ahead, because there's plenty of times I'm just like, well, maybe you just give me a date. Just tell me a day. Is it going to happen by here? Is it going to, they don't tell you. It's like, you're just a wait and see. So whatever, all these things happening, we just got to keep waiting and seeing. And there definitely seems to be a big forward movement in whatever's happening up in the sky. So I don't know. We can only hope that that's going to be, and it's coming soon, and it's going to hurry. And then at the same time, we have Joe overspending as usual. So the money thing has got to be on the verge of collapse. Like, it's so crazy because when you're sitting and watching it, it's like you can see all this stuff is just like we're going straight forward. We're going straight into the crash. Like the it's like we're going speeding down the highway, and then we can see the pile up ahead. But and then so when you're watching and you can see the pile up ahead, then you know to slow down. You know something's coming. But there's so many people that just don't see the pile up ahead. They don't see what's coming. And that is going to be like the huge shock factor. And so the shock factor is important to this whole scenario, to everything that's happening here. The shock factor, the flipping, everything going the other way suddenly is a part of it. And so, and however it's going to go, the day, the time, it seems like that we are, it seems like that we are kind of slowly rolling up to the thing. But to other people, I think it's going to feel like we just came in on a hard crash. So that's also a weird thing about time and awareness and everything, and being in the observation of what's happening. So anyways, I mean, something's coming. Something big is coming. Something that's going to change humanity, change the destiny of humanity, change all of our lives. So it's so close. Like, I just still, it's like you just don't know. I mean, is it going to be in 2024? It seems like it. It seems like something is going to happen over the next few weeks before Donald gets in, and then he's going to start putting things back together. But we'll see, like, how it's going to play out. I mean, I think it's going to probably be pretty fantastic, whatever it's going to be. It's going to be, you know, it's like probably the first time you go and watch the Christmas tree come on, the big giant one in the center of town, whatever, and they plug it in and all the lights come on. It's kind of like that. Like this, all the lights are going to come on for everybody all of a sudden. It's going to be pretty exciting and pretty intense. So anyways, it's got to be, we're got to be getting close. I feel like this week is going to be big, but I don't know. I've felt that so many times. And the thing is that's so weird is it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't feel like, oh, it goes away. No, it just feels like we're getting closer and closer. So even if nothing happens this week, but the same old shit, somebody's going down, somebody's being arrested, somebody's being shot, somebody's being, all of that stuff that keeps going, it's all a part of it. And so if it's all linked together, so it's all pulling in the same direction. So just got to ride the wave and just let things play out as they're going to play out. And yeah, we all want to know exactly what's going to happen, but that's what the universe isn't going to tell us. And all these people who are sure that they know, and then the things keep going by and nothing happening. So just got to be like, well, just ride it out, knowing that something's coming. And until then, you got to be doing what you're supposed to be doing, is working on yourself, working on how you look at things, working on how you feel, working on your mind, body, spirit, working on taking care of yourself, working on improving your relationships, working on improving your lifestyle. Like all those things are the things that we have to be putting into our focus. So just remember what you're doing here. Because I can't say it enough. Is you got to be learning how to love yourself, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to you. So anyways, that's what we've got to just work on it every day. And don't be hard on yourself. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.